Hi, everybody. It's Miss Celeste here. I'm your professor for ECE 602. Congratulations, you have made it to week 4 of part 16. This is our last video in this course in regards to our course objectives. So congratulations for making it to the last video. And also I appreciate your time and efforts in watching each of these videos. Before I get started, though, I am just going to briefly go through this week's assignments, and then I'm also going to go through our final assignment in a little bit more detail because I don't necessarily do that every time, but today I do want to make some time to do that. So again, we have our discussion, which is due Wednesday. We have our replies that are due Saturday. And then, of course, our final assignment. So let's look at our final assignment. So here is our final assignment. So when you go to Canvas, I recommend that you go to modules always. And say we go all the way down to week 4. We go to final assignment. This is all the details that you're going to need in order to create that final assignment. So this final assignment is going to focus on creating a PowerPoint. You can also use Canva, which is an option, and also Google Slides if that's something you're more comfortable using. But if you want to just use PowerPoint, that is perfectly fine. And then you're also going to follow all these steps that are listed here, 1 all the way to 7, which would be the conclusion. So a lot of this paper is going to really talk about your experiences. And so I want you to give a lot of insight into your perspectives, your experiences, your ideas, but also using support that we found within our textbook. Because a lot of these areas are in reference to our textbook and areas that I want you to elaborate a little bit more on, such as, discussing the benefits and challenges of a family-centered approach. What do you think about working in a family-centered program? Share an experience with that approach. And if there's some areas that possibly you have not been in just yet, it's okay. So just share a perspective of if you were in that environment, what would that look like? So again, everything is in Canvas. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to go through it section by section. All right, let's get back to our PowerPoint. So today we're going to understand policy, social policy within the ECE programs. We're going to talk about how we can do that by getting involved, understanding how public policy works, and understand how creating policy can benefit not just only the school as a whole, but the children and the teachers. The future of our country depends on providing for the needs of American children, all of our children. If we've reached a place in our economic, political, social, and moral history where masses of children are neglected, it's time for us as individuals and as a society to change that situation. So the more that we bring up such topics that need change, right? We have to talk more about it. We have to bring it up, make a conversation, discuss it with other leaders. That's even also contacting your, city hall, for an example, if there's other policies besides specifically children in your school community that you actually can go and have a voice and share your perspectives. But how do we do that? Well, we definitely have to get involved. So we have to look to find organizations that support children. So today I'm just really focusing on how we can support children. Ways that I encourage you, to do that is, going into just using our online data, right? Finding what's around you, finding organizations that support children, specifically early education if you want to, maybe speech and language, because there's so many nonprofits that do support children, um, around you that possibly you don't even know exist. Another way is do something this week to help children. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you contacting an organization, but what can you do this week or every week for that matter to help children? Another is speaking out for children. So being that voice. So whenever you have a child who needs a little bit more support, I encourage you to have those conversations with those parents, so they can definitely get that support um, quickly and consistently, because it's definitely important for us to kind of voice that as soon as possible. So of course the child can get the help that they need. And then, of course, being a role model for your community. So, children are watching you, right, at all times, but not just children, the adults in your environment, teachers in your environment, parents. So, just be mindful of how much of a role you play within your community and really understand how much people are listening and seeing you, and really, uh, trying to watch how you move, how you do things. So just make sure that that modeling is constantly happening as soon as possible. So understanding how public policy works. Well, we have to understand the different areas of it. So the governance is the part that supports funding effectiveness, accountability, and program access. And then we got to think about the funding. But the public funding, our regulated childcare, takes two approaches sometimes. So we talk a little bit about funding families, and we also talk about funding programs. So those are two separate funding funnels that we need to kind of address when we are creating policy, which I think is very important, because when we're talking about funding programs, that's very separate than how much the funding is affected with families and the needs for families that's involved. And then, of course, the access and the learning environment. So we have to really dive into how this public policy will be available to those around us, how it will affect those around us, how it will benefit, or even, doing the pros and cons, and really diving into different areas of how that can be of support. And then, of course, the learning environment. So understanding what areas need it the most, what areas, specific areas that are needed, and understanding what those are. So creating policy can benefit many areas, right? So we can benefit the development or revise a statewide career pathway that provides a roadmap for early education professionals to advance in their careers, through increasing levels of education, experience, demonstrating competencies and compensation, can definitely be of help. Making progress toward compensation and benefit standards, promoting data-driven policies and programs for the workplace, or the workforce with a statewide workforce registry. And then, of course, having scholarships available for, early educators, or all educators for that matter, which will, allow them to continue their education and continue to learn and grow. And that's something that I hope we can provide and make it available to all teachers. And then, of course, reward degree completions with, wage supplements or tax credits, and just making teaching, bring it more to the forefront and really understand the important role that these teachers are playing, and compensate them for that, and make it, definitely recognized, because I really think that teachers need to be recognized. Everything that you do every day should be recognized. I hope it is. I can't thank you enough for all the time that you spend in those classrooms teaching children and being there for them and helping them grow and learn, and as well as for the parents, because I think as much as the children need you, the parents do too. So thank you so much for everything that you do Thank you for being a part of my course here. I hope it's been very insightful. I hope you've gotten some great suggestions that you could apply in the classroom. Even just different perspectives. If maybe you just haven't experienced that specific area just yet. Um, but I'm always here to support you no matter if you're in one of my courses or of course after. So just reach out. My email is there if you have any questions in regards to the assignments, this course, suggestions inside your specific classroom. I'm here to always support you. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again in our live session. Thank you.